All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patrick, round two. So I forgot to hit record last time, so I'm going to start over. What you're about to see is something a little bit different. It is from a guy named Tim Minchin. He's a singing comedian that Bo Burnham is giving credit to for inspiring his comedic genius. So, hey, before I get into some of Tim's songs, I wanted to play this because I heard this tonight and I was really impressed. It is his 9 life lessons. So here we go.
Gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Tim Minchin.
In darker days, I did a corporate gig at a conference for this big company who made and sold accounting software. In a bid, I presume, to inspire their salespeople to greater heights, they'd forked out 12 grand for an inspirational speaker who was this extreme sports guy who had had a couple of his limbs frozen off when he got stuck on a ledge on some mountain. It was weird. Software salespeople, I think, need to hear from someone who has had a long, successful and happy career in software sales, not from an overly optimistic ex-mountaineer.
All right there. If you think about that, when you are in a corporate world and you are trying to motivate your employees, you want to bring in somebody that, expert salesman or, whatever the case. You don't want to bring in somebody that has no idea what your business is about or what you are doing in your business.
Some poor guy who had arrived in the morning hoping to learn more about sales techniques ended up going home worried about the blood flow to his extremities. It's not inspirational, it's confusing. And if the mountain was meant to be a symbol of life's challenges and the loss of limbs a metaphor for sacrifice, the software guy's not going to get it, is he? Because he didn't do an arts degree, did he? He should have. Arts degrees are awesome and they help you find meaning where there is none. And let me assure you.
Look, I started out with an arts degree briefly. And what I learned very quickly is that a generic degree is going to get you a generic education, where you get all your basics taken care of, like psychology, philosophy, English, math, science, you name it, they're there. Good for them. Great. But if you actually want to learn, to delve into something that is important to you, put in the extra work. Pursue something that's going to ultimately make you happy. Okay? I love photography. I love recording. I love being me. So if I'm not going to pursue a degree that is going to complement all of those things that I already like doing, then I'm going to be pursuing a degree in something that I have no desire to do.
There is none. Don't go looking for it. Searching for meaning is like searching for a rhyme scheme in a cookbook. You won't find it and it'll bugger up your souffle. If you didn't like that metaphor, you won't like the rest of it. Point being, I'm not an inspirational speaker. I've never lost a limb on a mountainside, metaphorically or otherwise, and I'm certainly not here to give career advice because, well, I've never really had what most would consider a job.
He's a singing comedian, but he's also got a doctorate in performing arts. I mean, that's pretty freaking impressive if you ask me.
However, I have had large groups of people listening to what I say for quite a few years now, and it's given me an inflated sense of self-importance. So I will now, at the ripe old age of 37.9, bestow upon you 9 life lessons. To echo, of course, the 9 lessons of carols of the traditional Christmas service, which is also pretty obscure.
I like how he offhandedly backhands religion there. But yet, he's still making valid points. What he's about to delve into is what I wanted to cover on this video, and that is the 9 lessons that he has to provide. So what I'm going to do, and I hope YouTube doesn't block this video, is I'm going to let each point play. And then at the end of the point, I'll stop, make my own point, and then move on to the next point.
You might find some of this stuff inspiring, you'll definitely find some of it boring, and you'll definitely forget all of it within a week. And be warned, there will be lots of hokey similes and obscure aphorisms which start well, but end up making no sense. So listen up or you'll get lost, like a blind man clapping in a pharmacy trying to echolocate the contact lens fluid.
That's funny. I don't care who you are. You imagine walking through the pharmacy, trying to echolocate to whatever you're trying to... Sorry, that's funny. To me, it's as funny as Braille on a drive-up ATM.
Just looking for my old poetry teacher. Here we go. Ready? 1, you don't have to have a dream. Americans on talent shows always talk about their dreams. Fine, if you have something you've always wanted to do, dreamed of, like in your heart, go for it. After all, it's something to do with your time, chasing a dream. And if it's a big enough one, it'll take you most of your life to achieve, so by the time you get to it and are staring into the abyss of the meaninglessness of your achievement, you'll be almost dead, so it won't matter. I never really had one of these dreams, and so I advocate passionate dedication to the pursuit of short-term goals. Be micro-ambitious. Put your head down and work with pride on whatever is in front of you. You never know where you might end up. Just be aware the next worthy pursuit will probably appear in your periphery, which is why you should be careful of long-term dreams. If you focus too far in front of you, you won't see the shiny thing out the corner of your eye. Right? Good. Advice, metaphor. Look at me go. 2.
Okay, so... F. Scott Fitzgerald stated in The Great Gatsby that you need to keep your feet on the ground and your head in the clouds, right? The reason that this is so important is what he said, and that's that if you just barrel through life and you've got this tunnel vision of what you want to accomplish, everything here is gone. Relationships, that girl that you saw that you liked may not have been there if the blinders have been up. You know what I mean? That opportunity. Let me use a photograph. Okay, so if I am narrowly focused on getting a sunset, okay, I want that perfect sunset, and I'm gonna get that perfect sunset photo. Okay, but guess what? I missed the icicles that formed when the waterfall froze over, or I missed the waterfall, or, the birds that are out there. There's so much more to pursue that we miss out on when we narrow-mindedly and single-mindedly focus on one thing.
Don't seek happiness. Happiness is like an orgasm. If you think about it too much, it goes away. Keep busy and aim to make someone else happy, and you might find you get some as a side effect. We didn't evolve to be constantly content. Contented Homo erectus got eaten before passing on their genes. 3, remember...
That was a shorter, simpler one. Don't be content where you are. Pursue dreams. Pursue goals. Those micro ambitious goals that he was talking about in the first one. This builds. One builds right onto the other. Okay? Don't be content don't ride on the coattails of your last success. Constantly be aiming to find the next success, to find the next positive thing, so that you don't become complacent.
Remember, it's all luck. You are lucky to be here. You are incalculably lucky to be born, and incredibly lucky to be brought up by a nice family that helped you get educated and encouraged you to go to uni. Or if you were born into a horrible family, that's unlucky and you have my sympathy, but you are still lucky. Lucky that you happen to be made of the sort of DNA that went on to make the sort of brain which, when placed in a horrible childhood environment, would make decisions that meant you ended up eventually graduating uni. Well done you for dragging yourself up by your shoelaces, but you were lucky. You didn't create the bit of you that dragged you up. They're not even your shoelaces. I suppose I worked hard to achieve whatever dubious achievements I've achieved, but I didn't make the bit of me that works hard. And any more than I made the bit of me that ate too many burgers instead of attending lectures when I was here at UWA. Understanding that you can't truly take credit for your successes, nor truly blame others for their failures, will humble you and make you more compassionate. Empathy is intuitive, but is also something you can work on intellectually. 4.
Lucky. Okay? Now, I understand what he's saying here. You know, what we have with our surroundings is a combination of hard work, dedication, a lot of luck, and just sticking to it, going with it, and regardless of the outcome, making it happen. You know, they say if one door closes, another door opens. I get that, but more importantly, it's take a look around the room you're in before the door closes so that you can take some of that with you.
Exercise. I'm sorry, you pasty, pale, smoking philosophy grads, arching your eyebrows into a Cartesian curve as you watch the human movement mob winding their way through the miniature traffic cones of their existence. You are wrong and they are right. Well, you're half right. You think, therefore you are, but also you jog, therefore you sleep, therefore you're not overwhelmed by existential angst. You can't be can't, and you don't want to be. Play a sport, do yoga, pump iron, run, whatever, but take care of your body. You're going to need it. Most of you mob are going to live to nearly 100, and even the poorest of you will achieve a level of wealth that most humans throughout history could not have dreamed of. And this long, luxurious life ahead of you is going to make you depressed. But don't despair. There is an inverse correlation between depression and exercise. Do it. Run, my beautiful intellectuals, run. 5.
Smoking a cigarette, yeah. Real smart for me to be reading about something about exercise. But, you know, I've come a long way. The life that I was living before I got to this point a year ago, I didn't think I would be alive to see this point in my life. And it was only through luck and dedication to being a better person that I'm here. And so maybe I haven't been physically exercising as much as I'd like, but I have started. And I love that because honestly, when you go out hiking and you do photography, the two go hand in hand and work very well together. And so I do a little bit of exercising, and I also like the idea of mental exercise, you know? Keep your head busy, keep your brain busy.
5. Be hard on your opinions. A famous bon mot asserts that opinions are like arseholes, and that everyone has one. There is great wisdom in this, but I would add that opinions differ significantly from arseholes, and that yours should be constantly and thoroughly examined. I used to do exams in here. It's revenge. We must think critically and not just about the ideas of others. Be hard on your beliefs. Take them out onto the veranda and hit them with a cricket bat. Be intellectually rigorous. Identify your biases, your prejudices, your privileges. Most of society's arguments are kept alive by a failure to acknowledge nuance. We tend to generate false dichotomies and then try to argue one point using two entirely different sets of assumptions, like two tennis players trying to win a match by hitting beautifully executed shots from either end of separate tennis courts. By the way, while I have science and arts graduates in front of me, please don't make the mistake of thinking the arts and sciences are at odds with one another.
So we can prepare for the end game and we can make the end game look as pretty as we want in our mind, But while we're busy trying to successfully recreate a utopic endgame, we're missing out on all the beauty that is what it is right now here in this moment. So I know I'm letting this run a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't get flagged or banned. But he's making some valid points, and I want you guys to catch them in their entirety, not just stopped every 5 seconds for the sake of stopping them, because YouTube says I have to or I'm infringing on copyright. You know, certain things like this where it's a speech, where it's important, where the message goes together. Come on, YouTube. Use some common sense.
That is a recent, stupid, and damaging idea. You don't have to be unscientific to make beautiful art, to write beautiful things. If you need proof, Twain, Douglas Adams, Vonnegut, McEwen, Sagan, Shakespeare, Dickens for a start. You don't need to be superstitious to be a poet. You don't need to hate GM technology to care about the beauty of the planet. You don't have to claim a soul to promote compassion. Science is not a body of knowledge nor a belief system. It is just a term which describes humankind's incremental acquisition of understanding through observation. Science is awesome. The arts and sciences need to work together to improve how knowledge is communicated. The idea that many Australians, including our new PM and my distant cousin Nick Minchin, believe that the science of anthropogenic global warming is controversial is a powerful indicator of the extent of our failure to communicate. The fact that 30% of the people in this room just bristled is further evidence still. The fact that that bristling is more to do with politics than science is even more despairing. 6.
Arts are important because there is intrinsic beauty in everything. Science is important because it measures the life cycle of that beautiful item. If you're looking at a waterfall, think about it in terms of how beautiful that waterfall is, but then look at the fact that it had to happen. It happened because of erosion from the geological perspective, which is science-based. Look at the flow of that water, which is science-based. And then take another step back and put that geological and beautiful entity together, and you have the creation of a waterfall.
Be a teacher, please, please, please be a teacher. Teachers are the most admirable and important people in the world. You don't have to do it forever, but if you're in doubt about what to do, be an amazing teacher. Just for your 20s, be a teacher. Be a primary school teacher, especially if you're a bloke. We need male primary school teachers. Even if you're not a teacher, be a teacher. Share your ideas. Don't take for granted your education. Rejoice in what you learn and spray it. 7.
You know, that's what I'm trying to do right here. And I think that's what he's trying to do. And I know a lot of great people in my life that have wisdom beyond their years, that are great teachers. They don't have the formality of a piece of paper that says, I'm a teacher. But they have everything else. They have life experience, they have wisdom, they have intelligence, and that's all you need to teach someone just how important that knowledge is. If I can save one person from that road of drugs and alcohol that they're heading down or have been on for a while, or maybe contemplating going down, don't. God, I'm 42. I am 42 years old and I'm learning how to live. Don't wait. Don't wait. It doesn't get any easier. Your joints, your bones, your health does not get any better as you go. In fact, you slow down. And it just, don't wait. If you're on the road of self-destruction, let me be the one to tell you, among countless others, that you're not alone. You are loved. You are cared for. And maybe you don't see it right now, but you are.
Define yourself by what you love. I found myself doing this thing a bit recently where if someone asks me what sort of music I like, I say, well, I don't listen to the radio because pop song lyrics annoy me. Or if someone asks me what food I like, I say, I think truffle oil is overused and slightly obnoxious. And I see it all the time online, people whose idea of being part of a subculture is to hate Coldplay or football or feminists or the Liberal Party. We have a tendency to define ourselves in opposition to stuff. As a comedian, I make my living out of it. But try to also express your passion for things you love. Be demonstrative and generous in your praise of those you admire. Send thank you cards and give standing ovations. Be pro stuff, not just anti stuff. 8.
Very valid point. And it's a great mindset trick. Okay? If you spend your entire life dwelling on all the things you hate, you're going to have a very negative life experience. But if you can look at all the things in life that you love, I love photography. I've said it 20,000 times already just in this recording. I love being clean. I love living. That's important. And I don't hate Nickelback because people tell me to. I just don't like Nickelback.
Respect people with less power than you. I have in the past made important decisions about people I work with, agents and producers, big decisions based largely on how they treat the wait staff in the restaurants we're having the meeting in. I don't care if you're the most powerful cat in the room, I will judge you on how you treat the least powerful. So there. 9.
Okay. Golly, valid argument right there. You can be kissing my ass and telling me what a great person I am, but if you're flippant with the wait staff, if you're flippant with the other people in the room, those are my people. And if you're going to treat my people like shit, then what are you saying about me behind my back? And what am I saying about myself if I align myself with you?
Finally, don't rush. You don't need to already know what you're going to do with the rest of your life. I'm not saying sit around smoking cones all day, but also don't panic. Most people I know who were sure of their career path at 20 are having midlife crises now. I said at the beginning of this ramble, which is already 3.5 minutes long, that life is meaningless. It was not a flippant assertion. I think it's absurd, the idea of seeking meaning in the set of circumstances that happens to exist after 13.8 billion years worth of unguided events. Leave it to humans to think the universe has a purpose for them. However, I am no nihilist. I'm not even a cynic. I am actually rather romantic. And here's my idea of romance. You will soon be dead. Life will sometimes seem long and tough, and God, it's tiring. And you will sometimes be happy and sometimes sad, and then you'll be old, and then you'll be dead. There is only one sensible thing to do with this empty existence, and that is fill it. Not fill it, fill it. And in my opinion, until I change it, life is best filled by learning as much as you can about as much as you can, taking pride in whatever you're doing, having compassion, sharing ideas, running, being enthusiastic. And then there's love and travel and wine and sex and art and kids and giving and mountain climbing, but you know all that stuff already. It's an incredibly exciting thing, this one meaningless life of yours. Good luck, and thank you for indulging me.
We're always in such a hurry to get where we're going. The store is still going to be there. The doctor is still going to be there. Life will be there. We'll get there when we get there. Instead of rushing to get where you already wanted to be, plan ahead. If you get there a little bit early, enjoy the beauty of it. And if you get there a little bit late, enjoy the humor of it. Life's not perfect. People aren't perfect. So enjoy the people and enjoy life. Make it worthwhile, regardless. I love you all. Be safe.